Rigid body is a body whose particle does not changes position with respect to each other when the body is in steady or body is in motion. Just like a paper, different particles in a paper does not changes their positions. So paper is a rigid body. Steel plate is a rigid body. Wooden plate is a rigid body, or a metal wire is also a rigid body. So consider the rigid body. Different part, it is made up of a large number of particles, each particle having the masses. We have to consider the first particle having a mass m1, whose distance from axis of rotation is r1. Second particle m2, its distance from axis of rotation is r2. Third particle m3, its distance from axis of rotation is r3. We don't know the number of particles. Let us consider last particle having a mass mn, whose distance from axis of rotation is rn. This rigid body is rotated around an axis passing through the O. Suppose it is in motion or in rotation. So every particle is in motion. This rigid body is rotated with constant angular velocity. Now we derive the two equations by considering the motion of a rigid body. One is angular momentum, another is torque acting on this rigid body. So first we derive the angular momentum of rotating body. So angular momentum of rotating body, it is also known as expression for angular momentum in terms of moment of inertia. Consider a rigid body rotating with uniform angular velocity. Angular velocity is denoted by the letter omega. The axis of rotation passes through a point O and perpendicular to the plane of figure. So this is a plane. This total is a plane, and this axis is now perpendicular to it and passes through the O. This is a perpendicular. Let m1, m2, m3 dash dash mn be the masses of different particles of a rigid body situated at a distance r1, r2, r3 dash dash rn from axis of rotation. Just like this m1 it at distance r1, m2 at a distance r2, m3 at distance r3, mn at a distance rn. As the object rotates, all particles of object perform UCM, that means uniform circular motion, with constant angular speed, but its linear speed is different, that is V1, V2, V3 and V4. So this is a body in rule. This particle having a linear speed as V1, it is having a linear speed as V2. So we know the formula for angular momentum. We apply it for mass m1. So angular momentum L1 is equal to distance into linear momentum. So R1 into P1. P1 is a linear momentum. But linear momentum is nothing but mass into velocity. So m1 v1. Also v1 is nothing but r omega. So omega is a constant. So v1 is equal to r1 omega. Substitute v1 value in this linear momentum. So p1 is equal to m1 r1 omega. Substitute that value in angular momentum formula. We get r1 m1 r1 omega. r1 into r1, r1 square. So L1 is equal to m1 r1 square omega. This is for mass m1. As mass m1 in motion, also the mass m2 is in motion, whose velocity is v2. We apply the same formula and calculate angular momentum for a mass m2. So L2 is equal to m2 r2 square omega. Just like we apply the same formula to each mass, also to the last mass having distance Rn from axis of rotation. So angular momentum of nth particle, that is Ln, is equal to mn Rn square omega. But single particles are not in motion. All the body is in revolving. So we find out the total angular momentum of the body by adding the angular momentum of each particle. That is L is equal to L1 plus L2 plus L3 dash dash Ln. Substitute the value of L1, L2, L3. Take out the omega common. So inside bracket M1 R1 square plus M2 R2 square plus dash dash plus Mn Rn square bracket complete into omega. This bracket is nothing but summation of Mi Ri square, that is known as moment of inertia indicated by the I. So L is equal to I into omega, where I is equal to M1 R1 square, M2 R2 square plus M3 R3 square plus dash dash plus Mn Rn square, called as moment of inertia. Now we get the angular momentum L is equal to I omega, and we know the linear momentum P is equal to mv. Here v is a linear velocity, omega is angular velocity. Mass in linear motion is equal to the moment of inertia in rotational motion. Now we see the principle of conservation of angular momentum. First we see the principle. If the resultant external torque acting on a body is 0, the angular momentum of rotating body is remain constant. Suppose this body is in motion and we are applying the torque. So if the torque acting, resultant torque on this body is 0, then the angular momentum of rotating body is always remain constant. To verify this principle, we use the formula of derivative. If derivative x is equal to b, that is b is a constant, and we are defined dx by dt, then derivative of constant is 0, or in other way x is equal to b, which is a constant. That principle we use here. Consider the particle rotating about an axis. M mass of particle, r bar position vector, L bar linear momentum of particle. So angular momentum is equal to L bar, which is equal to r bar cross p bar. Differentiate with respect to t. We use the formula, that is d uv divided by dx. So u dv by dx plus v du by dx. That is the product rule of derivative. We apply same rule here. dl bar by dt, which is equal to d by dt inside bracket r bar cross p bar. Apply the product rule. So r bar cross dp bar by dt plus dr bar by dt cross p bar. But dr bar by dt, that is a rate of change of position vector, is nothing but velocity, which is v bar. Rate of change of linear momentum is equal to force, that is dp bar by dt is equal to f bar. It is Newton's second law, and p bar is equal to m v bar. Substitute all the value in above equation. We get dl bar by dt, which is equal to r bar cross f bar, plus now we substitute the value of v bar, dr bar by dt as v bar, and cross m v bar, that is a p bar is equal to m v bar. M is taken as a common, then we get v bar cross v bar, but v bar cross v bar is equal to 0. R bar cross f bar is nothing but tau bar, which is nothing but torque. So this term is a 0. Balance is dl bar by dt, which is equal to tau bar. If torque tau acting on particle is 0, if a torque is 0, then dl bar by dt is 0. As dl bar by dt is 0, it indicates L must be the constant. So L bar is a constant. So if a torque acting on a system is 0, angular momentum of a system remain constant. Now we calculate the formula for torque acting on rotating body, or expression for torque in terms of moment of inertia. Again we consider the rigid body, which is made up of large number of small particles. Let first particle having mass m1, which is at a distance r1, second particle having mass m2, which is at a distance r2, third particle is at a distance r3, and last particle mn, last particle having mass mn, whose distance from axis of rotation is rn, and all these particles rotating about this axis of rotation, which passes through the O and which is perpendicular to the plane of a figure. This is a plane, and over it is a perpendicular, and body is now in motion. So what is the torque acting on this body? That value we have to calculate. Force applied to a body produces linear acceleration. Consider a rigid body rotating about an axis passing through O and perpendicular to the plane of figure. The rigid body is made up of a large number of different particles. Let m1, m2, m3, mn be the masses of different particles of rigid body situated at a distance r1, r2, rn from axis of rotation. This theory part is similar to that of angular momentum. We have written in angular momentum, same steps we have written. No change in that step, only change in these steps. The rigid body rotates with constant angular acceleration. In angular momentum, we have taken constant angular velocity. Now we take constant angular acceleration, but with different linear acceleration. According to the Newton's second law, force acting on mass m1 is F1, which is equal to m1 into a1, mass into acceleration. But we know the acceleration is equal to r alpha, that is radius into angular acceleration. So we write for first particle, so a1 is equal to r1 alpha. Substitute this value in the above equation, so f1 is equal to m1 r1 alpha. But we know the formula for torque. Torque is nothing but force into moment arm. Moment arm, that is distance from the axis of rotation. Perpendicular distance from axis of rotation. Here perpendicular distance is also r1. So substitute the value of force, that is m1 r1 alpha into r1. So r1 into r1 as r1 square. So torque τ1 is equal to m1 r1 square alpha. This is for torque acting on mass m1. So body is made up of large number of particles. So torque must act on m2 also, m3 also, and mn also. So torque acting on mass m2 is τ2, which is equal to m2 r2 square alpha. Similarly, torque acting on last particle, nth particle, that is τn, which is equal to mn rn square alpha. So body is made up of large number of particles. All particles are revolve around this axis of rotation. So we calculate the torque acting on whole body, called as the total torque acting on a body. So total torque acting on whole rigid body is tau, which is equal to τ1 plus τ2 plus τ3 plus τn. Substitute the value of each torque acting on each particle, that is τ1, τ2, τ3 τn. Take out the alpha common. So inside bracket is again equivalent to the moment of inertia I. So tau is equal to I into alpha. Here also you can compare this torque tau is equal to I alpha and force F is equal to ma. A is a linear acceleration, alpha is angular acceleration, and it indicates that mass in linear motion is also equivalent to the moment of inertia in a rotational motion. So whatever the mass plays a role in linear motion, the same role play by moment of inertia in rotational motion. Last topic, rolling motion. We consider the rolling motion on a plane surface as well as on an inclined surface. First we see the rolling body, that is a purely rolling motion, that is a motion on a plane surface, and we calculate the total energy of a rolling body. When the body like a sphere or a wheel rolls on a surface, then the body possesses both translational and rotational motion. Suppose this is a coin. Now it is a roll and moving in on the surface. So it has this rolling motion, as well as center of the body move in a straight line. So it possesses a translational motion as well as a rolling motion. V is a linear speed of center of mass, R radius of body, omega angular speed, and K radius of gyration of a body. Then the total kinetic energy of rolling body is equal to translational kinetic energy plus rotational kinetic energy. So which is equal to 1 half. Kinetic energy is nothing but 1 half mv square, and rotational kinetic energy is nothing but 1 half I omega square. But K, that is radius of gyration, is nothing but in a square root I divided by m. From that we calculate the I, which is equal to K square into m, and V is equal to R omega. From this, omega is nothing but V divided by R. Substitute the value of I and omega in this equation. So 1 half m omega square plus 1 half K square m into V square divided by R. Take 1 half and V square common. So 1 half m V square are taken as a common. Inside bracket 1 plus K square divided by R square whole bracket complete gives you the total kinetic energy of a rolling body on a plane surface. Now the rolling motion of a body without slipping on inclined plane. So body is on inclined plane. So this is inclined plane, and this coin is now in motion, roll and moving in downward direction. So it has a rotational motion and translational motion. M, mass of rigid body. R, radius. Body start rolling down over inclined plane from a height h. Body start from a rest and rolls down. Body possesses its gravitational potential energy, and this potential energy converted into kinetic energy. So initially body is at this position, that means at a height h from ground level. Initially it is steady position. So due to the height it possesses some energy on account of its position called as potential energy, and then it start rolling in downward direction. This potential energy is now converted into kinetic energy. So this potential energy slowly decreases, but kinetic energy go on increasing. So we use this concept here. So loss in potential energy. So potential energy go on decreasing. It converted into kinetic energy. That means gain in kinetic energy. But kinetic energy has two types. One, because of its rolling motion, and because of second, it's a linear motion. So this kinetic energy, translational kinetic energy plus rotational kinetic energy. So we know the formula of potential energy. that is mgh, translational or linear kinetic energy that is 1 half mv square, and rotational kinetic energy as 1 half I omega square. But radius of gyration k is equal to in square root I divided by m. From this we calculate I is equal to k square m. Also v is equal to r omega. From that we calculate the omega, which is v divided by r. Substitute these two values in the rotational kinetic energy formula. Then mgh is equal to 1 half mv square inside bracket 1 plus k square divided by r square bracket complete by taking m 1 half and mv square common. Shift these two to the other side. So 2 mgh equal to mv square inside bracket 1 plus k square divided by r square bracket complete. Keep v square one side and shift all the terms to the other side. So 2 mgh divided by m inside bracket 1 plus k square divided by r square bracket complete. M cancel. So v square is equal to 2gh divided by 1 plus k square divided by r square bracket complete. Taking a square root, if you take the square root, you get v is equal to in square root 2gh inside bracket 1 plus k square divided by r square bracket complete. We know v square is equal to u square plus 2as, equation of motion. As the particle starts from rest, so initial velocity u is equal to 0, final velocity is v. Substituting u is equal to 0, so v square is equal to 2as, or acceleration a is nothing but v divided by 2s. Substitute the value of v square, that is 2gh divided by 1 plus k square divided by r square bracket complete into 1 upon 2s. Now we use this formula and write the sin theta h divided by s. So sin theta h divided by s, or from that s is equal to h divided by sin theta, which is equal to linear distance travel along the plane. So this distance the body is a travel, that distance is s. So from this we derive the 1 upon s, which is sin theta divided by h. Substitute in above equation, 2 cancel. A is equal to gh divided by inside bracket 1 plus k square divided by r square bracket complete into sin theta divided by h cancel, and you get the a, which is equal to g sin theta divided by inside bracket 1 plus k square divided by r square bracket complete, which gives you the linear acceleration when the body is rolling down on an inclined plane. Here we have completed your first lesson. From next lecture we start solving problems over this your first lesson, rotational dynamics.